Pro Bowl talent to the unit that was best against scoring in the NFL last year. But, Joe, the changes, and a lot of them come on offense.
Well, there really are. Not only changes, but questions, Mike, and that's why...
Pete Stoyanovich to kick it away as Green Bay has won the toss. Milburn and Preston are deep to receive, and it's Glenn Milburn picks him up from Detroit, one of the best return men in the league, back to the 20-yard line. Let's look at the Packers starting lineup. Green Bay led by three-time MVP Brett Favre. He's thrown at least 30 touchdown passes each of the last 4 years. Antonio Freeman, his prime target a year ago, he caught 81 for 1,243 yards. That was fourth in the NFC. A fine offensive line featuring a new starter, Marco Rivera, a sixth-round pick in '96, takes over for the departed Aaron Taylor. Green Bay starts from its own 20-yard line. And they'll go on the ground to Travis Jerby. Dorsey Levens, of course, still a holdout. Here's the Kansas City defense, a reworked line as former Raider Chester McLaughlin at left end, a four-time Pro Bowler. In spite of missing 6 games with a serious injury, Derek Thomas still had a big year in sacks, registering 9.5. And an excellent secondary. He got even stronger with the emergence of Reggie Tongue. Last season, he led the club in tackles with 142. There is McLaughlin, 6'4", 320. 4 Pro Bowls in 6 years. Favre to throw for the first time, and Derek Thomas got him from behind. Loose ball. Kansas City has it. It took only 2 plays for the defense to generate a turnover.
Mike, what happens here is Derek Thomas has an opportunity to go one-on-one. Anytime he gets one-on-one with somebody, in this case it's going to be Ross Verba, number 78. He starts him up the hill, and now he comes downhill hard and squares it up. Verba trying to hang on and just can't do it. There he comes in. He just chops at the ball and knocks it from the quarterback. He not just only wants to make the tackle, but he wants to try and cause the fumble, which he did on that play.
So Kansas City gets a great break early. They'll start from the 18-yard line. Bennett and Anders are the running backs behind Gerback, who wants to throw on first down. In the flat to Kimball Anders. And he's brought down maybe for the loss of a yard. Here's the Kansas City starting lineup. Gerback, the best winning percentage among active quarterbacks with a 14-5 record. He was 8-2 last year. It may be running back by committee this season, but Donnell Bennett heads the list. He moves over from fullback. A brilliant offensive line with Will Shields, the most highly decorated, the former Outland winner, a 3-time Pro Bowler. Derek Thomas getting started early from that Falcon linebacker position. Go back to throw on 2nd and 11, and Bennett couldn't hold it. Bounced off his hands, nearly intercepted by Bernardo Harris. For the Packers on defense, the line is the key. If Gilbert Brown can stay healthy and stay on the field, Green Bay has a chance to become an elite run-stopping unit again. After a knee injury, George Kuntz was never 100% last year. Healthy now, he moves from the middle to the strong side. And the question in the secondary is Darren Sharper. Can his talent overcome his inexperience in replacing Eugene Robinson? The Minister of Defense, who retired for 2 days, but is back and feeling a lot better. 3rd and 11. Gerback with time. Got the completion down to around the 9-yard line to his rising superstar tight end, Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is, I believe, going to be the key to this offense. He has the potential in this offense to be the best tight end, I think, in football. I really believe that. Great athletic ability, great moves, one-on-one. Watch him, number 88, the back comes outside, puts a little pressure on the linebacker. It's so hard for linebackers to stay with him because of his ability. Now, keep in mind, this is the first training camp that he's had since high school to be able to concentrate just on football because of his commitments to basketball. 4th and a yard, and they'll go for it. Bennett. Big hole in the middle, and Donnell Bennett down to the 2.
You know, talking to Marty Schottenheimer, and everybody has questions about the running back situation with the Kansas City Chiefs and Donnell Bennett. Marty Schottenheimer says, here is a guy that falls downstairs. He goes straight ahead. Just take a look at the blocking up front. Runard Shields, 61-68. Look at the hole. Zock pulls out. He gets a block, and there is the hole in the middle. Donnell Bennett coming up, number 30. Look at the blocking in that line of scrimmage. Zock just gets an outstanding block, and the hole is there.
Now Richardson is the blocking back. He's holding on, and Bennett trying to pick his way through this. There is, of course, the feeling that that offensive line is so good that you can put just about any back there, and he's going to have a good year.
But, Mike, I think for the Kansas City Chiefs, this is the question mark, is short yardage and goal line. Marcus Allen, Marty Schottenheimer called him the best short yardage goal line back in the history of football. And this is where I think Kansas City's going to have to learn to pound the ball in a little different way.
And Richardson, as the blocking back, is tremendous. Bennett danced a little bit as he got to that hole. In the flat, they've got the touchdown. Richardson out of the backfield from Gerbach.
Tony Richardson keeps his string alive. Had 3 catches last year for 3 touchdowns. He gets 1 catch this year. He's got a touchdown. Good play-action fake. You get the defense to commit. The fullback goes out like he wants to block the linebacker. He winds up in the flat all by himself. Elvis Gerbach does a nice job of just getting the ball someplace where Tony can catch it.
Stoyanovich, who had a brilliant season a year ago, is on for the point after. He's got it, and Kansas City takes advantage of the early turnover forced by Derek Thomas, and they take a 7-0 lead as Ross Burma, the man who gave up the sack. An early 7-0 lead over the Packers from Tokyo, Japan. For the first time ever, 4 Japanese players have been invited to training camp, 2 with each team. There is Kawaguchi, all of whom played in NFL Europe. Masato Itai, he's with Kansas City. And both coaches say it has been a pleasure to have those young men in camp with them. Special teams getting a workout early. Roel Preston. Across the 20, big hole. Preston, who's trying to make the squad as a wide receiver, gives them a big return. Robert Williams came up to make the tackle on special teams.
Well, you know, when you're on special teams and you're returning, you've got to believe that that hole is going to be there. They call one place for you to run, and you better get there. If you get there, you just saw that hole open up and enable him to get the ball out to the 39-yard line.
Johnny Holland, the new special teams coach, took over for Nolan Cromwell, who moved up to wide receiver coach in the Packer hierarchy.
Favre wants to throw on first down. A little high. Nice catch in the flat. And a loose ball again. Kansas City has it. McMillan with the recovery as Henderson fumbled the football after he made the fine catch, and it was knocked away by Donnie Edwards.
How many times do you see a guy make an outstanding catch and play and then try to make something else out of it and not controlling?
And Kansas City will start from the 41. Donnell Bennett. He started for 2 years in college at Miami as a fullback. Then he was drafted in the 2nd round, and in December of '94 had a knee injury that set him back over a year. This is really the first time he's been able to go.
Well, we talked about Reggie White feeling much better and see how his back is doing. Parker is on him, 62. Look at the stalemate. Parker's in his face. He gets a nice turn. Reggie does make the tackle, but it happens to be 6 yards down the field.
You'll take that every time. Gerbach with Reggie in his face. Dumps it off to Gonzalez. Tight end screen. Blocking in front. First down and more.
There's give you one and take it away. I just think, Mike, he is right now the complete package at the tight end position. I know Ben Coates is a great tight end for the New England Patriots. I think Tony has a little more natural gifted ability. He's a little more athletic, a little more elusive. He blocks up tight end. He's on Reggie White. Lets Reggie go by. Elvis does a nice job of avoiding the rush and creating a throwing lane. And now he starts up the field. He'll stop, let the guy go by, and then pick up another 8 yards.
Santana Dotson limped off the field for the Packers. Something you do not want in preseason games of those injuries. Bennett moves the pile ahead a couple of yards. You know, speaking of Gonzalez, you've got Shannon Sharp, and you've got Ben Coates. He seems to be a pretty decent combination of both of those guys.
I think the one thing also is that he's added 20 pounds, which is going to make him a better blocker. He's a bigger guy now with all that athletic ability and the background from basketball. Talking to him down on the field, he said, you know, with this basketball background, it's the best thing you can do to get yourself ready for football.
And they compared him to who?
Kelvin Winslow. Not a bad comparison.
No, I don't think so.
Second and 9 for Kansas City, trying to capitalize on the fumble. Bennett with the toss sweep. Good blocking in front and dives forward to the 19. Leroy Butler cut his legs out from under him. Bennett's not a guy who's going to break a 70-yarder for you. He's one of these guys you hope to get 4 or 5 yards of track.
Well, you look at Bennett on that play. It was a toss, but he saw as far as he could go, and he just turns upfield. What he wants to do in a situation like that, get as much positive yardage as you possibly can.
I think part of that, though, Paul, is the fullback instinct in him still coming out. The halfback will try and eventually avoid and miss people, but as a fullback, he still pours it up inside.
3rd and 5. Sanders will go in motion. Floated to Gonzalez over the middle. Boy, George Kuntz was all over him, and they still got it in there.
This young man has got such great hands. And I guess you're talking about that basketball background, Joe, but he has wonderful hands.
What he does is once he leans on and gets into a linebacker, you'll see him, he'll be on the right side. As Elvis goes back, he knows where he wants to go right away. He just gives Tony a chance to work, and even though he's got somebody wrapped around him, he still gets his hands out far enough to be able to make a play.
You mentioned basketball. All he did with Kuntz was go down and post him up and wait for the ball. 1st and 10. Oops. Movement up front. Of course, both sides point at the other.
Come back before the ball snaps. But if you touch someone while you're there, they just blow it dead.
Fritz Shermer just turned 66, one of the premier defensive coordinators really in the history of professional football. Bounced around this league. He's just done a brilliant job year after year everywhere he's been. Anders with a rare carry straight up the middle, touchdown.
Did somebody just have a flashback to Super Bowl 32?
3-time Pro Bowls, and boy, he did take it right up the gut.
Dave Zott, just take a look at Zott, the left guard on Gilbert Brown. Here it is. He's number 79. Watch him turn Gilbert Brown, 93. He turns him out of the hole. They're also Grunard, 61, the blocking up front. Watch 61, Grunard block. Zott's block. I mean, this offensive line, they saw the Super Bowl film, Joe.
And they executed it quite well, I might add.
And if you can block Gilbert Brown with one guy, you're going to have fun against the Packers, no matter how good the other ones are.
We're away from it.
Stoyanovich to kick it away. There is Milburn. And Kansas City has just run its offense. Its defense is turning the ball over. They are in midseason form. Milburn hustles over to get it at the 7. Spins out of a tackle to the 30. It's 14-0. The Kansas City Chiefs leading the Green Bay Packers first quarter from Tokyo. Back in 14-0 early over the Packers from Tokyo. We're in the Dome, and some Japanese football fans like that young man realize a nap is even more important than American football. Good choice. Travis Jervey trying to get outside. That's only the 4th offensive play for the Packers.
The NFL's best pregame show is back with a new and expanded time. Starting September 6th, Sunday, NFL Countdown will begin at 11 a.m. Eastern and bring you a full 2 hours of insight, information, news, and analysis. Join Chris Berman and the distinguished faculty of Bristol University with new Professor Jim Kelly for the only 2-hour pregame show in football.
2nd and 4 as the Packers would like to get a first down and not turn the football over. Favre floats it for Freeman. Nice coverage by Hasty. Favre, what a 4-year run, Joe, he has had. 30 touchdown passes or more 4 straight seasons. Nobody, even Marino, has ever done this.
And it's a credit not just to Brett, but I think the system that he plays in. Mike Holmgren allows Brett Favre to be a star. He gives him opportunities to put the ball down the field and make plays. And then it's his own individual athletic ability that I think just excites everyone and sometimes drives Mike crazy. But he has such terrific ability to make a bad play into something special. Sherm Lewis, of course, a little bit of a change for the Packers with him on the sidelines as well. An opportunity to get a little closer to the action.
Phil Schrader and Derek Mays on the field in a 4 wide receiver set, and that pass too high for Roel Preston. And the Packers at least don't turn it over. They'll punt it away. And you can see the steam coming out of Mike Holmgren's ears right now. He is not pleased.
Well, Favre was upset. He thought that Preston was held at the line of scrimmage. Well, you know, in that 5-yard area.
Probably was.
Yeah, probably was. They're not going to call it.
Sean Landetta is the new punter, as Craig Hendrick went to Tennessee and became a millionaire free agent. Marcus Dowdell is deep to receive the punt back at his own 18. Low snap. Landetta can still launch him. Dowdell back to the 11. Trying to get to the corner and forced out of bounds as he crossed the 22 by Anthony. Green Bay took some hits in the offseason, particularly on the defensive side of the football. All free agents, Donnell Bennett, Eugene Robinson, who I still think is a terrific safety. Wilkins goes to the 49ers. Evans, they lose a corner to the Panthers. Aaron Taylor, their starting left guard, and Hendrick, we mentioned, the punter, goes to the Oilers. And one of the guys, Paul, that they have to have in on defense to take one of those spots, Bonnie Holiday.
Well, Joe and I saw him last week up in camp, and he is something special.
Billy Joe Tolliver is the new quarterback. Jesse Haynes comes in at running back. And Haynes will get a carry out to about the 24-yard line. Holiday was part of a tremendous defensive unit at North Carolina. He played inside. They're moving him outside.
You know, Fritz Shermer told Joe and I last week, we're sitting there talking about this young man. He said he is the best defensive end at that position he's ever seen at that age.
And the thing is, too, in high school he played stand-up, so even though he played tackle in college, they move him outside because of his athletic ability, and he really has become more comfortable as a defensive end. And I know, Paul, you talked about it in the open. They want to move him around a little bit in nickel situations, but I think end is going to be where he's going to make the impact.
Billy Joe Tolliver fighting for that third spot, trying to scramble. Throws on the run, and at the sideline, is it a catch? It is. Up at the 43-yard line, Kevin Lockett, who they are really counting on as a third receiver.
Number one on number one. Victor Riley is trying to block Bonnie Holiday, 66 on 90. Watch Holiday. Now, here's what you call determination. Coaches love this. Look, he could have stopped right here, but Bonnie Holiday does not.
And Billy Joe does a nice job of moving down the field. Now, Kevin Lockett, he finds a place where he can make a play on the ball, and he's the guy that Kansas City is counting on an awful lot to help that wide receiver corps.
Joe Horn, number 84, is in as a wide receiver. Haynes with the carry. Nice play by Leroy Butler coming up from the safety spot. Love to play him near the line of scrimmage. He didn't get all of them, but he got enough.
Well, you don't have to get all of them when you got all those guys playing on defense. But Leroy Butler, I mean, here's a guy, he was blitzing on the play, but he's smart enough to realize he's got to find the ball first.
And I think he continues to be a key to the success of the Green Bay Packers. Last year, he was very vocal about the fact that he did not get a chance to blitz a lot. I think you're going to see him a lot more up close to the offensive line and having an opportunity to put pressure on the quarterback. Fritz needs Leroy to spend some time in offensive backfield.
2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Kuntz has Tolliver. Well, they always say if you want to blitz early in preseason, you're going to get there.
Well, and the quickest way to get to a quarterback, as being a quarterback, you know, is right up the middle. Come right after him.
What you do is you make them think you're coming up the middle, and everybody blocks. Watch the right side backer. There he comes unblocked. There's two people. Who are you going to block? You're going to block Reggie White. That's the guy you got to think. You're going to let George Kuntz run, but Reggie White may be more of a threat. That's
George Kuntz, who was in a fight for that outside linebacker spot with Seth Joyner, really never 100% last year after knee surgery early in the season, and he has been such a good player for this ball club. He's played all three linebacker spots. 3rd and 21 for Tolliver. Scrambling again. Hollenquist has him at the sideline, drags him down far short of the first down.
This is a tremendous play by Hollenquist, and the reason it is because Billy Joe Tolliver puts that ball up like he's going to throw the ball. Hollenquist doesn't pay any attention to that. His job is to get to the quarterback and make sure he throws the football. Going after Billy Joe Tolliver, he did his job.
So Aguiar Shane Edge will get a chance to punt. Second-year man out of the University of Florida. And Milburn is back to receive at his 17. Milburn from the 26. Nowhere to go. Stutter steps, got away. Flags are down on the play. First down, Green Bay. When Week City over Green Bay still in the first quarter here in Tokyo, Japan. This Kansas City defense added some beef and some talent in the offseason. Chester McLaughlin from the Raiders. We got Leslie O'Neal, who's now in at a defensive end from the Rams.
And now Chester goes inside.
Travis Jervey, the single setback behind Brett Favre. Favre airs one out this time and underthrown, intended for Roel Preston. This ESPN NFL special is brought to you by Isuzu, specialized builders of adventure machines. Isuzu, go farther. Flag was down. Preliminary indication is a hold against Green Bay. Derek Thomas was in there messing things up again.
When you think about lining up Derek Thomas, Donnie Holiday, Chester McLaughlin.
Good use of hands. Number 78 on the offense. Hands to the face. Penalty is declined. Second down.
Second-year tackle Ross Verba.
You wind up in a situation with who you're going to block. Coming from the left side, you see Verba's hands up in the face. You just can't touch a guy's face mask or his helmet. And if you do, it'd be a good idea to let it go at some point, which Ross didn't do either.
Jervey on the delay. Slithers out to about the 11-yard line. They are hoping to get the Dorsey Levens deal done soon to get him in camp, and Jervey would go back to his role as a backup.
Yeah, I don't care if Dorsey Levens is in the game. The Kansas City Chiefs defensive line was in the backfield before Favre even made the turn.
And that's really, I think, the way that Kansas City wants to play all year. They want to be able to get people across the line of scrimmage and disrupt any type of blocking patterns, and they've done a good job so far tonight.
That's John Browning, the third-year player who Marty Schottenheimer said has had a wonderful camp. They are just loaded with talent on that side of the football. I mean, loaded. 3rd and 10. Favre wants to screen and was lucky he didn't get a safety as he threw for Jervey. And again, Favre under tremendous pressure from Derek Thomas.
Yeah, and you also have Chester McLaughlin, number 75, in the backfield with him. I mean, you got two guys that you can't hold either one of them. Here's Verba again, 78 on Derek Thomas. He just runs around. Now look in the middle. There's Chester McLaughlin right in the middle. So if Favre goes anywhere at all, Chester McLaughlin there. Timmerman is trying to block him. Forget that. Chester didn't go for any fake. He just went for the quarterback.
Favre was looking at a team picture of the Kansas City defense. 4th and 10, they'll have to kick it away. Green Bay has done absolutely zilch. Dowdell waits on the front. Goes back to his 40. And got about 13 yards out of it into Green Bay territory. Begins in Green Bay territory. They start from the 47-yard line. And early movement on that one. It will tend to get a little sloppy. We're now into the second and in some cases third.
Ball start. Number 66 on the offense. 5-yard penalty is still first down.
That's Victor Riley, the first-round draft choice out of Auburn.
Well, the only problem with that, we're in the second and third units, Joe, and we're still in the first quarter.
Well, I think the coaches really have seen enough. I think
Mike Holmgren's seen enough.
Mike has seen too much. Marty Schottenheimer's got to be pleased with what he has seen on both sides of the ball, and of course Mike Holmgren's still waiting to see something.
That's not a happy man right there.
Tolliver wants to set up the screen, throws and nearly had it picked off. That was not a smart play. Hollenquist nearly got the interception as Pryor was chasing Tolliver on the blitz.
So Victor Riley, Joe, is having a problem with Bonnie Holiday. He's having a problem. They said the one thing about Victor Riley is, you know, when we asked about how good he's doing, they said he's got great recovery ability. Now, he's going to need all of that. Bonnie Holiday, number 90, on Victor Riley, the two number ones are going. Now, Holiday is by him. Pryor, number 39, the safety is already in the backfield.
That was a screen that he just disrupted by putting too much pressure up too quick.
2nd and 15. Tolliver with time, throws over the middle. Willie Tate, the tight end, but there's a marker down on this one as well. And now they're saying it's incomplete. Tate, second-year kid out of Oregon. We'll check the marker.
Ronnie Holiday's already learned how to say the penalties against Kansas City. I mean, you learn that as you know the one thing about Bonnie Holiday?
Pass interference, number 93 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Tate.
Rick Shermer told us about this guy, about the coaching that he got, Joe, in college. He said, you know, a lot of guys, that when they become a senior, they like kind of quit coaching these guys because they're good players. Rick Shermer said this guy was coached all the way through.
And they have really built a tradition of defense at North Carolina, and Holiday was just superb on that unit. 3rd and 25. Tolliver chased again, dumps it to Richardson. Shakes the tackle, gets across midfield. Check the call. It was 2nd and 25, not 3rd and 25.
Billy Joe Tolliver really has not had a chance to set up in the pocket and make too many throws. Every time he goes back, he goes on roller skates to try and avoid a rush. Part of that has to do with, I think, the new guys that are around him, but also it looks like Fritz Shermer has decided to make that Green Bay defense just a bit more aggressive.
I always thought it was kind of difficult for a quarterback. Here's Billy Joe coming in to try to win a spot, maybe the 3rd spot, Joe, and he's playing with 2nd and 3rd year players, or the 3rd string players, and it's very difficult for him to get any kind of time.
3rd and 11, chased again and then sacked, and that is Vaughn Booker, who was traded to Green Bay from Kansas City.
I mean, there's just no way that you can play quarterback and you're going to step up to throw a ball, and when you step up, there's a defensive lineman smashing you in the mouth.
No, you have to have the ability to step up. Vaughn Booker, they hope, will play outside and spot Reggie White. They'd love to have him play inside, depending upon Reggie's back. Another one of those questions that the Packers have to take a look at.
If you get a Vaughn Booker, that's nice depth ahead. Milburn, the former Lion, is back to receive, and Shane Edge to punt. And they're waiting on the first quarter clock to run out. Temple in Harajuku is where the traditional meets the modern, set in one of the busiest sections of Tokyo. Tradition over here is one of the most charming aspects of Japanese society, and one of the wonderful things that you'll see if you come over here.
How's the spaghetti?
Spaghetti's terrific. My room service staple. He had set the punt, and we got another whistle. But it's Japanese spaghetti.
Yeah. Okay.
Made in Tokyo.
Ball start, number 41 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Anthony Pryor moved early.
If you think the Kansas City Chiefs look pretty good, we talked to Marty Schottenheimer, and he told us that they've had great mini camps, and when they came to camp, they were ready. They had their offensive defenses all in.
Well, if their running back and wide receiver questions are answered, this will be a tremendous unit to deal with. Just got it out of there. Milburn from the 24. There's another flag down as Milburn gets to the 32. Doug Peterson is in at quarterback. This is really important for him this preseason. I want to make sure that he is a reliable number 2 quarterback. He was the starter in Miami in '93 when both Dan Marino and Scott Mitchell were hurt, but has not played very much since then. Play action, a little bootleg, couldn't find anybody, and he is dropped. Ty Parton. That was supposed to be a quick little pass, and it never developed for him.
They talk about a defensive lineman staying home. You'll see the play fake go to the top right of the screen. Parton stays right there. Plays off the block and continues to pursue. Doesn't worry about anything. Just goes right for the quarterback.
Ty Parton, the young man from Arizona, trying to make his mark. Free agent pickup in '97 at 2nd and 18. Jervy on the draw. Tremendous speed. Travis Jervy. Adams forced him out of bounds at the 37. Travis Jervy can fly.
Did you say from the Citadel yet?
From the Citadel.
I just want to make sure you guys know that Travis Jervy is... Dellenbach and Rivera get excellent blocks up front for Travis Jervy, but once they do get the blocks in the hole, just take a look at right here. Watch Jervy's move. He shakes a player at the line of scrimmage right here, and then he's out in the front. This guy's got tremendous speed. He went to the fastest man in the NFL contest a couple of years ago and came in 4th.
He was the first guy in line for Raymond Harris has checked into the ball game for the first time. Harris, the former Chicago Bear, who has been injury prone, broke his leg at the end of last year and comes up a little testy as he got grabbed in the pile. Trying to see if he can be a really good backup for them. Of course, they had Edgar Bennett before and lost him. Dorsey Levin steps in, and now using Jervy as a third down guy, they wanted a primary backup, and it looks like Raymond Harris would be the guy who could do the job. 2nd and 8 for Green Bay. Another marker is down.
And a few more flags that the coaches would like to see.
Antonio Freeman the other day in the paper, Joe, after we watched the first practice session they had here, said that their wide receivers, I'll get to it.
There is no penalty. There is no penalty. We will replay down 2.
3 flags and no penalty.
But Antonio Freeman said, we just couldn't, during the practice session against the Chiefs, couldn't get off the line of scrimmage.
Well, they felt like they got manhandled. Their wide receivers, the Packers wide receivers, got manhandled a bit by Kansas City's corners.
And they do play a very physical, very aggressive style of defense in the secondary. Jervy is on the field, 2nd and 5. Intended for Mays, and Mays nearly made a circus catch. Got away from Bucky Brooks, who had inside position, and then couldn't hold the ball.
Derek Mays is one of the keys to Green Bay on offense. Now, you might say, how can that happen? He will have to be the 3rd wide receiver for this football team. He does a nice job, very physical, does a nice job of getting hands, good hand fighting. Look at him focus on the ball. You can see his eyes in his head. Now he tries to make a play on the ball as he comes through. Almost manages to make an acrobatic catch.
He probably has the best hands on the team. 3rd and 5. Peterson in the flat, and that went right through the arms of Derek Mays. As soon as you say a guy's got great hands, that happens.
Not very good arms, but he does have great hands. So you hit him with the arm, he drops it. I mean, that play was designed to pick up a first down, and he got to the first down market. He ran the perfect pattern, didn't catch the ball.
It didn't look like he quite had his head around when the ball got there from Peterson, and now it's 4th down.
They're going to go for it. No.
Longwell is going to come on the field and try what would be about a 51-yard field goal. Longwell, they picked him up off waivers. And thank goodness for the Packers that they did, because Conway leaded over the Packers 14-0. We're in the 2nd quarter in Tokyo. Longwell, after the timeout, set to try a long field goal, hit 80% a year ago after Brett Conway, who was a 3rd-round draft choice, struggled in preseason and then had a quad injury and ended up on IR. So they can thank their lucky stars for Ryan Longwell.
It's Longwell's job, Mike, to lose, really.
Trying from 51 here. He makes those kicks. There's no way he's going to lose it. And he gets a hand from Conway. Longwell change out of Northwest Missouri. He's also going to get a shot at running back. We should see him shortly. Longwell did a great job on field goals last year and a pretty good job on kickoffs as well. Aims this one high for Haynes from the 8. Haynes fighting for yardage across the 25 to about the 27-yard line.
He just got back.
I wouldn't get on it.
Oliver throws over the middle, intercepted by Pryor. Not a good throw, intended for Horn, and Pryor was right there.
Well, the other thing is, too, is the receiver's got to come back for the football and help you out. I'll grant it wasn't a very good throw. Didn't look like it had much pace on it. But also, when Joe Horn makes that turn to come inside, he's got to be working back towards the quarterback and help him out a little bit. You'll see up to the right part of your screen as Billy Joe tries to step in. Joe Horn never really gets a chance to come on back to the ball and break it up. As soon as that ball goes up and it looks like it's going to be a problem, if you're a receiver, you have to automatically become a defensive back.
So Green Bay with a turnover, and they'll take over at the Kansas City 35. Peterson nearly fell down on the handoff. Look at the speed. Travis Jervis. Boy, he just turned it on and was able to get to the corner.
This just, I mean, you talk about speed, and there are a lot of guys with speed that don't know how to use it. This guy just showed you how to use speed to get to the outside and make the turn. Watch him make the turn on the outside. He beats the defense there. Number 32, Travis Jervis. There is some holding at the line of scrimmage, but look at this move, and then back to the inside.
Emery Smith trying to throw a block out in front of him. Now Raymond Harris will come back in. Jervy certainly impressive here in the first half. Peterson, the slant to Mays. He couldn't hold it, a little behind him, and Dorsett on the coverage.
Jervy's going for the motorcycle, Joe.
Right, you know, that's what the MVP is going to get in this game. Travis Jervy has tried to politic his way into the backfield. Last year he goes to the Pro Bowl as a special teamer, which is a great accomplishment. That's what he has his sights on right now.
That's right.
He'd like to drive that thing all the way home. But the thing about Travis Jervy is he has tried to get Mike Holmgren to take a look at him as a bona fide halfback. And I think you really have to consider him. The guy has paid his dues, and he's sure been impressive here.
And he was not able to run the ball from scrimmage a year ago. That one's in and out of the hands of Jeff Thomason, the tight end. Kansas City has certainly looked impressive on defense, whether they're trying to stop the run, except for the two that Jervy got off, or on pass defense. They've had guys all over receivers.
Well, they haven't really had a receiver wide open in this ball game. The one thing about Jervy, when he came out of college, I think you guys mentioned when he did it, he only caught one pass. That time he was in college.
He really would have been drafted much higher. He was a fifth-round draft choice in '95, had not he had an ankle injury as a senior, which affected his speed. Like a quarter from Tokyo, Japan, the Chiefs leading the Packers 14-3. Defensive coordinator Gunther Cunningham has to like what he's seen so far, especially from his first unit. They just terrorized Brett Favre and got 2 first-quarter turnovers. 3rd and 10. Doug Peterson, the quarterback, directing traffic. Peterson too high for Mays at the 10-yard line. Coverage by Dorsett, third-year man out of Southern University.
That time, Mays was wide open.
Marco Rivera, the left guard, is number 62. He's working to hold on to his position. Tom Brannett comes in, number 71, and just absolutely knocks him down. If you're not looking and having a head on a swivel, people are going to run over you out on the football field, and Marco Rivera just found out how much.
Conway will come in to try a field goal. It will be 38 yards out of Peterson's hold. And sneaked it inside the right upright. So the Packers on consecutive possessions have come through with field goals, and they've cut the lead to 14-6. For all the latest NFL.
He's had 5 balls thrown his way already in this game. A lot of them he's tried to catch acrobatically. He hasn't had a lot of chances, but they're really trying to see what they've got at that wide receiver position.
Well, isn't that really what preseason is for? I mean, you have to set out with some specifics in mind.
And it's specific moments and plays that you want to feature guys at so you can see what they have.
What is that, Paul?
Chester McLaughlin's got some ice on his back. There are more guys in the National Football League with back problems
Well, if you were 340, excuse me, Chester would get mad. If you were 310 pounds, you'd have a back problem, too. Well, would Chester get mad at me if I let that slip out?
Haynes will let that bounce, take it in the end zone, and keep it there. And Kansas City will start from its own 20.
You know what, Joe?
Change of scenery out there. He and the club were not getting along real well in certain spots. Richardson and Haynes in the backfield. And this is Haynes pounding his way up to the 25-yard line where Pat Terrell, who they picked up in the offseason from Carolina, made the tackle.
One of the great matchups you get are the two rookies that go after one another. Victor Riley, number 66, against Vonnie Holliday, number 90. This time, Victor Riley manages to get Vonnie outside and allow the back to run inside. Now, these two guys played against each other and worked against each other in the Senior Bowl, so they're not unfamiliar with each other.
2nd and 5. Draw play to Haynes. That only got to the 28-yard line. Of course, Kansas City let Marcus Allen, he retired. They let Greg Hill go as a free agent. That means they are a Super Bowl contender that comes into the season without a proven running back. Haynes right now is running second behind Donnell Bennett.
Well, this is the guy, Haynes, that Marty Schottenheimer talked about. He said he has to step up and play. I mean, it's all on his shoulders. It's not something like that they are really counting on him, but they think that he has the potential to be one of the running backs on the football team.
He was on the practice squad a year ago. Richardson, a single setback on 32, and he'll get the ball. Richardson bounces off a tackle, gets the first down and more. There's another marker down, and Richardson is tackled at the Green Bay 38-yard line. Let's see if this comes back.
You know, when you get a guy like Richardson that blocks most of the time, you give him the ball a few times, he's going to run over people.
Holding on the offense. The 10-yard penalty from the spot of the ball. Still 3rd down.
Of course, Richardson had only had 14 carries in 3 years. You can tell when a guy comes out of the huddle with a big smile on his face that it might be, you know, the one time in 5 this season he'll get to carry.
He's got excellent hands, Joe.
He really does. And, you know, at 230 pounds, he's a lot niftier than you might think. I was talking to Andre Rison on the field about him. I said, you know, this football team's got a lot of guys that have abilities to make plays. He said one guy is Tony Richardson. You just don't know how fast he is until you try and chase him down.
3rd and 2 for Kansas City. Again, Richardson, the single setback. Tolliver, good protection this time, throws and somehow got it through to the tight end Willie Tate, who makes the catch for the first down. And it looked like Scott McGarrahan, number 34, the rookie, had a shot to pick that one off. And that was one of the raps on McGarrahan in college. He didn't have very many interceptions.
Pete Swanson had a Stanford number 73 in his 2nd year, now gets a shot at Vonnie Holliday, and he does a good job of just staying up, and then putting him down on the ground. Gives Billy Joe a little bit of time to step up and make a throw. There's one of those throws that you have to be able to put in with a lot of velocity.
Haynes back in there at running back, gets only a couple. Eric Curry, who they signed as a free agent from Tampa Bay, former high draft choice, number 6 overall in the '93 draft, who was never panned out, given a chance here.
Well, what Green Bay is hoping, what will happen with Eric Curry is similar to what happened with Santana Dotson when they got him from Tampa Bay. Santana just didn't perform to the level they thought at Tampa Bay. He comes here, and he was the best defensive lineman the Packers had a year ago.
Well, for years, people made a living getting Tampa Bay players on their roster, but not anymore with Tony Dungy and company. Richardson can't hold it. Wide open in the flat, and there's another marker down. There's a guy who's got a streak going.
You can kill it in a minute.
Sure, but people write you letters, and it's like you actually have influence. Very good point. And once you know it's going to be called, you have to back off. Here comes the blitz. And Tolliver will go down at the 28-yard line. Vonnie Holliday will get credit for the sack, but it was his teammates who created it.
Pat Terrell, number 40, was standing up on the end of the line of scrimmage. And even though he doesn't get to the quarterback, look at number 40. Even though he doesn't get to the quarterback, he forced him up into the pocket.
Vonnie Holliday just continues to work inside and work towards the quarterback. What I really like about him is, and you mentioned it before, Paul, is he is a relentless type of a rusher. He's going to stay after you and ultimately wind up near the football.
They wouldn't have gotten Vonnie Holliday had they not moved up 10 spots in the draft. They got him at 19th instead of 29th.
Time that Reggie puts in.
Got to get something just from osmosis. 3rd and 23. Oliver bothered by Holliday. Airs this one out, and that could be offensive interference. The push-off by Joe Horn, who has great speed. But the defensive man is entitled to his spot. That looked like Anthony Fogel.
That's number 24, trying to stay with him. And he winds up falling on the ground and just tripping, really.
That's terrible.
And they wind up throwing the flag.
Fogel did absolutely nothing wrong. He's entitled to that spot. He didn't push off. Haynes will get a couple.
If you look at what Fogel does, he does the one smart thing. And watch him turn and look at the ball. Right here. See? When he turns and looks at the ball, now there can't be any pass interference.
If anything, it's got to be offensive pass interference because the defensive player has every right to the ball as well when he turns to make a play. That's just a bad call. It's not like the referee's coming from someplace far away either.
It will be 2nd and 8 after the break for Kansas.
Preseason
for them,
they're
isn't it?
entitled to it.
No, they're not.
And they're showing blitz again. Here comes Carroll. Tolliver whips this one out in a hurry and got it to Kevin Lockett. And another flag comes in at the end of the play.
Concentration. Bringing somebody down and getting a 15-yard penalty with your face mask, that's a lack of concentration. Those are things that players shouldn't be making.
6:05 to go in the half. Haynes on the toss behind Richardson. Fumble. Packers have it, recovered by Antonio London. Knocked away by Vonnie Holliday.
Joseph, lack of concentration. You just said it a moment ago, and here it comes again.
Well, especially when you get to a scoring area. You know that, Paul. When you're getting close to the line of scrimmage, that's where you really have to, or close to the goal line, you got to protect the ball.
And that first half, Haynes getting an earful from Marty Schottenheimer after that fumble, as they were in scoring territory and didn't take advantage of it.
You know, the interesting thing about this play by Vonnie Holliday, watch him come down the line of scrimmage, but look where Haynes has the ball. It's on his right side. Watch where Vonnie Holliday reaches around. He'll reach around him and knock the ball away. That is outstanding play. Look at this. He comes all the way around his body to knock it. And again, Joe, you're talking about Haynes' lack of concentration.
You get down close to the goal line, you have to protect the ball.
Second and 1. Peterson, the slant to Schrader. Trying to take the ball away from him. Schrader hanging on and fighting for that first down yardage. Bashan Adams made the tackle.
I would say, Mike, that Bill Schrader is one of the guys that they really need to step up at the wide receiver position. Sort of put himself in the doghouse with Mike Holmgren as a kick returner. Sort of? Yeah, a lot. But he's got to really step up. And then there's Lionel James trying to just talk to Jesse Haynes. At this point, I got to be honest with you. If you're a player, you just want everybody to go away.
Peterson over the middle. That's Thomason, the tight end, up to the 36-yard line.
Lionel James, one of the great little backs in the game, has come on as the running back coach, and just trying to explain to him the importance of how to protect the football and know exactly where you are on the football field. That's something that a lot of young guys don't understand. There's certain areas where you can take chances, where you can do things with the football. There's other areas where everything speeds up a little bit, and you have to be aware of what's coming.
Raymond Harris and Emily Smith are the backs. Harris recovering from that broken leg, dances for a couple.
Sunday Night Baseball tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Peterson, Schrader makes the catch. He's got excellent speed. Schrader, 40, 50. Big game for Green Bay. Joe, you said Schrader was sort of in Mike Holmgren's doghouse. He was so far in the doghouse, he had a bowl with his own name on it.
And he looks like he's working his way out, though, as a wide receiver. He does a nice job here. This is a read pattern. He'll just sit down in between the linebackers. Peterson does a nice job of finding him. Now he just looks for places to go, has the ball in the correct hand because everybody's going to be pursuing from the right side, protects it. Big game.
Played his college ball at Wisconsin lacrosse, where he was a decathlete, so you know how good an athlete he was. Peterson. Thomason again. Takes a big hit as he got to the 40, near another first down. Terry Wooden on the coverage.
Green Bay's offensive line is doing a much better job of protecting the quarterback now. Peterson has a chance to get back set and make some throws.
Chester and Derrick aren't in.
You gave the reason. I just gave them back.
But Leslie O'Neal is in there. Pelham McDaniel's manning the other end. Second and a yard. Let's keep it on the ground and go for the first down and get it at about the Kansas City 38.
It's a little bit
The Noodles in Tokyo. He ain't coming back. Coming up on the Acura Halftime Report, Chris Berman, highlights from the Hall of Fame game and the induction ceremonies, all the Major League Baseball scores and highlights. Raymond Harris, Emery Smith, the running backs on 1st and 10. Peterson to Harris and missed it badly.
Kansas City deciding they want to bring a little heat that time, make Peterson get rid of it a little quicker.
Peterson admitted he really struggled in the first week of training camp. He's getting a chance to play here. Matt Hasselbeck will follow him in the rotation. Not thrown one in the regular season since '93 when he was starting for the Dolphins. Here comes the blitz. He unloads and got it. Nice throw, Roel Preston. Great awareness by Peterson.
And Roel Preston has got to make this football team as a wide receiver. I mean, they bring in Glenn Milburn to be a kick return specialist, and this is where he's got to be able to make something happen. He does a good job of getting away from the press. Works outside against Pryor, comes down hard inside. Nice job of using your hands. Got to be aware of where that hammer's coming from to knock the ball away. Boy, the Chiefs really work at trying to create turnovers.
Well, if you look, Bay has used the timeout. They have one left. They tell you to never sit on your helmet, so you put the ball on top of the helmet. Peterson with a 1st and 10 from the Kansas City 25.
Right there, I got him.
Schrader, nice catch, touchdown. Bill Schrader making a statement here.
And there's a couple of things that he did. He makes this opportunity, creates it so well off the line of scrimmage by getting around Pryor. Then he accelerates towards the ball, and Peterson does a real nice job of putting the football where only Schrader can get it. It's a great teaching film right here.
And the Packers are out to go for 2 to try to tie it.
And then Schrader was gone. It was beautiful.
Pretty good target, too, at 6'3". Peterson on a little half roll. Throws back. They got the 2-point conversion. Derek Mays makes the catch in traffic. Emery Smith threw a nice block for Peterson on the roll.
Emery Smith, I mean, you know that the quarterback is rolling. You know on the right-hand side of your screen, watch this number 22, bam! And he just takes, that's Leslie O'Neal, takes him into the inside, who is a defensive end, and makes the play. What a great block.
Emmett's younger brother laid the wood to Leslie O'Neal. He's not a little guy, though. He's 245.
And he got all of Leslie.
Yes, he did. And we're tied at 14.
That's the little things that the coaches look at. You know, Joe, when you're in a game like this and you're trying to make the team, you may not be able to, you may not touch the ball. Smith may not get the ball in his game. But if he does it, makes a block like that down on the goal line, makes things happen, get noticed by the coaching staff.
Kansas City owned the first quarter. It's been all Green Bay here in the second. Very short kick. Haynes from the 14. Across the 30 to the 31. Schrader trying to make that doghouse a memory and solidify his position as a receiver on this ball club. Tolliver dancing around in the packet, dumps it off for Richardson. Nice catch and a better run afterward. Richardson up near the 40-yard line. Scott McGarrahan made the tackle.
You can always almost tell when Richardson gets the ball that he very rarely ever gets it. They're in a hurry-up offense right now, but when he gets it, he's going to make something happen when he has it. And man, can he block.
Tolliver in the flat, the completion to Kevin Lockett. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock under a minute to go.
Now, this is one of the areas where the Kansas City Chiefs have changed their philosophy on offense. They ran into a real nightmare against Denver last year in the playoffs when they couldn't communicate with the field. So what they've done is they've given their quarterbacks a lot more control in the 2-minute situations, both at the end of the half and at the end of the game. This is something Jimmy Ray really wanted to try and put out on the field for his quarterbacks.
They sort of soured on the West Coast offense with Paul Hackett. And he left to go to 17. Tolliver. Nice throw and a completion to Damon Hughes. He really got into that one and rifled it to Hughes, who had 7 catches last year as a backup receiver.
I'll tell you, Billy Joe just took a shot with McCarrahan. I mean, he was standing there waiting to throw the ball. It just really takes guts to stand there that long, knowing you're going to get nailed from the backside. Billy Joe Tolliver, watch him. He's standing there, McCarrahan coming in, number 34, and just nails him. You can't feel that guy, can't you?
You can't see him, but you can certainly feel him.
Tolliver over the middle. What a catch. Willie Tate. And that time I don't think he pushed off.
Well, Willie Tate, one of 3 tight ends that Kansas City has that are really good receivers. Of course, Ted Popson is down with the knee, and Tony Gonzalez is the starter.
And Tolliver will kill the clock.
There's Jimmy Ray and company looking at this saying, man, we can move the ball.
Which they did not do a year ago at times. Billy Joe Tolliver. Talk about bringing up some numbers to impress the coaching staff. As this one batted incomplete. Tipped away by Roosevelt Blackman. Of course, Billy Joe fighting for a roster spot with Pat Barnes, who we'll see in the second half as the 3rd quarterback, because Rich Gannon, who is not going to play tonight, certainly has the backup job locked up after the tremendous performance he put in last year.
Rich Gannon is not going to play, as you mentioned, and he was okay with that till he found out that the MVP got a motorcycle in. He's a little upset with Marty at this point.
I'll tell you what, I think he can buy his own.
And I think, you know, I think Rich Gannon last year could have been the MVP of the Kansas City Chiefs. He did a terrific job filling in for Elvis.
He was brilliant. 5-1. Tolliver floats this one. Tate wide open, threw it too far. Willie Tate was open, had to turn the other way. Pat Terrell caught up to him.
This is one where Billy Joe would have wanted to keep it on the outside and let him run to the ball. Ball winds up bringing him back inside. Billy Joe is looking to the right side. He sees the safety, so he knows exactly where he wants to go with the football. He's focusing downfield and can't quite make the throw he wants to the outside. Ball brings him back, and Pat Terrell just knocks him to the ground.
Well, that's a touchdown if he throws the ball to the outside.
Eric Curry is the... Stoyanovich will come on to try a 40-yard field goal. A season ago, Pete had the 3rd best performance ever in NFL history. 26-27. And better than that, he was 14 out of 15 from 40 yards and over. This is a preseason game. It doesn't... Because Dowdell has now dropped back as the single deep man as we get ready to start the second half from Tokyo here in the American Bowl. Dowdell from the 3. Trips up, got to the 20-yard line. Take a look at the first half stats in our opening preseason game, and Kansas City racks up 14 first downs in certainly a dominant first quarter. Total yards are very close, and the turnovers have finally evened out after Green Bay turned it over the first 2 times they had the football. Pat Barnes is the new quarterback, the second-year kid out of California. He hurt his wrist in an all-star game after his Cal career was done, and he has never really been able to throw the ball as well as he did before that. And tomorrow at Vanover, he got a shot at running back. They go with the end around instead, and that's Masato Itai, one of the 4 Japanese players, getting a chance to play, getting a chance to go to training camp, and of course he gets a fine hand here at the Tokyo Dome. He played with the Scottish Claymores.
I was very impressed watching him both at their training camp and when they worked out here. He does a nice job of coming around, sees the hole, follows his blocking, turns it up inside, and winds up getting met by Hollenquist. But he still saw a hole for a minute. You know, I'll tell you, he has exceptional hands. He has not dropped a pass in all the practices that I've watched, in total 3 for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And Vaughn Booker is down as opposed to 55. Pat Barnes, the new quarterback, airs it out and caught at the 43-yard line. Joe Horn, who had a couple of catches last year, has tremendous speed, caught a 50-yarder against Denver, and he came back and took it against Anthony Fogle.
Real nice job of going up after the football. The big key about long passes is having the ability to avoid at the line of scrimmage. Fogle never gets a hand on him. With a guy like Joe Horn with that kind of speed, he's going to be on top of you all the time. Now he does a nice job of coming back and making a play on the ball. That's exactly what you're looking for from big play wide receivers.
Came to the NFL out of junior college, and he can fly. Played in the CFL after that. Vanover on the toss. Speaking of speed, they are trying to give him a shot at running back because they want to get him the football. 2 years ago, they made him a starting receiver. That was a bust. And actually, his return yardage went down when they tried to make him a full-time player.
Well, one thing Marty talked about, though, that, Vanover is just not, they're going to not just throw this guy into the game for 1 or 2 plays. They are really considering Joe somewhere between 15 and 20 times in a ball game for him to touch the ball, or at least play that many plays.
Vaughn Booker, the report on him, a stinger. We don't know whether he'll come back or not. Vanover on the delay. Back to the line of scrimmage and no more, where Hollenquist was waiting for it.
Tomorrow, in talking to him and watching him work as a running back, as we watch practices, he really comes out of the blocks well. And everybody thinks he's just been a wide receiver. He came out of high school and actually played running back in high school through his entire career. When he went to FSU, he's recruited as a running back. They were a little short at the wide receiver position, so he wound up moving outside. But I've been real impressed with his quickness out of the blocks and his ability to get to the line of scrimmage.
The one thing they're concerned about is he has a very straight-up running style, and you can...
So did Eric Dickerson.
Well, good point. That one goes end over end, and Horn makes the catch at the 20-yard line. Had the option to catch either end.
Well, it looked
like Billy Kilmer was making a comeback.
Well, I think he got tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Pat Barnes does a nice job of staying in the pocket and staying with the receiver.
All right, now we'll look at Kansas City Chiefs #1, Victor Riley, number 66 on McKenzie. Look at this block to the outside. He gets his feet in a position, and he gets back inside.
Pat Barnes sets, surveys the field, has nice patience to wait for Horn to come inside, and just really throws a wobbly pass, but quite often, it doesn't matter. You don't get style points.
James Bostic is into the backfield for the first time. Again, Tate, the tight end, can't get there. Hustling over Pat Terrell. And Barnes had a shot at a touchdown there.
That's a throw that he's got to get up quicker.
You know, we're looking at tape. We saw him 2 offensive pass interferences on tape. But if you look at, he's open all the time.
He really has been. He made some plays during the 2-minute drill, made some real nice ones, but he's finding a hole in the defense.
If he's getting open, can you imagine if Gonzalez would have been in there?
Now, Joe, you can probably identify every dish.
Yeah.
I can't.
I eat a lot of the different foods here. You guys are basically in staples of hot dogs, hamburgers, and, as we mentioned, Mike, spaghetti.
Vanover. Some room to run this time, down to about the 15-yard line.
I was talking to him on the field before the game, and I said, tell me, is there a big difference for you moving from wide receiver to the backfield? He said, well, physically it's not that difficult. He says, boy, you have to remember an awful lot of things when you're in the backfield. I said, see how tough it is being a quarterback, too. He does a nice job here. He slides outside, little bit of stutter step, makes the move, now buries himself up inside. The one thing he's going to have to work on is when he hits the line of scrimmage, he's going to have to run with his head up. He's going to have to see the holes instead of feel the holes. But again, this is all so new to him.
Left Florida State early to go to the Canadian League. Barnes under some pressure. Throws back across the green, incomplete. A lot of contact in the end zone. Terrell was all over the tight end Tate that time.
Absolutely the worst decision a quarterback can make. If you're scrambling to the right, and this includes Brett Favre, who does this on occasion, you cannot do that. As he scrambles out, does a nice job here of avoiding the rush, good pickup inside. Now, focus what's ahead of you. Don't look back in the middle of the football field. You're in scoring range. Don't throw it back where it can be picked off by an offside back.
And if McGarrahan is looking for the ball instead of going after the receiver, that is a pick. Stojanovic will try from 33 and hooks it right down the middle. Kansas City regains the lead here in the third quarter on a 33-yard field goal from Pete Stojanovic. 17. The Packers come from behind to tie them at 14, have now regained the lead at 17-14 here in the third quarter from the Big Egg in Tokyo, Japan. Stojanovic with a 33-yard field goal, and he will kick to Glenn Milburn. Back there with Roel Preston. Trying to kick it away from Milburn, but he comes all the way across the field to get it. Milburn breaks it outside. Stojanovic can't get the angle. Glenn Milburn finally forced out of bounds, and that's why they wanted him so badly as a kick returner.
Johnny Holland very pleased with what he sees. Boy, as a special teams coach, a new one, he's having himself a great debut. They do a terrific job of starting the wedge up one side, and you'll see what happens. The Kansas City Chiefs do not hold their lanes in containment. He starts up. Now he breaks outside, and once he gets outside and turns the corner, aren't many people who can catch him.
Well, you made a great point about the kicking team. When you go down, you got to go to a lane, and you stay in that lane until the runner passes you. You don't ever leave your lane.
Saving tackle by Anthony Pryor. Raymond Harris goes up the middle. The interesting thing about Milburn, so praised by everyone who has seen him as a kick returner, he's never returned a punt or a kickoff in the NFL for a touchdown.
But those kind of returns there, Mike, are really what his staple has been. Big returns, big plays. He's a durable guy, doesn't put the ball on the ground for you, so you're going to get chances to get points.
And the fact that he hasn't returned one from a touchdown makes his averages look even better. Matt Hasselbeck is in at quarterback, the rookie from Boston College, the 6th-round draft choice. Over the middle, incomplete. That was intended for Ronnie Anderson, and Hasselbeck whipped it in there with 3 defenders.
Hasselbeck, I mean, I love the courage and I love the throw and the speed of the throw, but watch where he tries to put the ball in.
You can't put it in high.
No,
exactly what you're
this
saying.
thing has got to be down on his hip, and he puts that thing up high, and that's a good way to get your receivers killed.
He puts a lot of juice on it, though. I mean, he really fires this thing in.
Boy, and Anderson knew he was going to get creamed when he went up for that one. But the injured player is Rod Thomas, the rookie safety out of Southern Mississippi.
Really are, in the true essence of the word, a family. everybody on their staff, everybody in their organization. Mr. Hunt tries to create the environment
for Hasselbeck and the Packers. Jumps it off short. Schrader already has one touchdown, gets it inside the 5 to the 4. You got to say the most impressive offensive player for Green Bay right now has got to be Schrader.
It is, but the offensive line got to give you time to throw the ball. And Druzzi is fighting for a spot with Marco Rivera. Now watch number 70. What? He'll step to his left. There's a guy. Now he sees the backer coming inside. Look at that. I'm talking about just excellent movement by an offensive lineman. Lets the one guy go to his man, to the tackle, and comes back in to help the center.
And Andruzzi is the strongest offensive lineman on this club. First and goal, fumble. Hasselbeck didn't get it from center and dives on it at the 5. Second down from the 5. Harris cuts it back near the 1-yard line. Raymond Harris. Mike Flanagan, who's in there now at center, number 58. Just a tremendous story from UCLA. He was a third-round draft choice in '96. Got hurt in the first preseason game. He has had 6 operations on the right leg to try to get back and play. And he had a tremendous talent coming out of UCLA. You just got to root for the kid. He's worked so hard to get back.
They had high hopes. I mean, Frank Winters, you know, he is in the twilight of his career. He's put in 12 years. How's that? I mean, he's towards the end.
I don't think he's going to agree with you there.
Well, it's 12 years. I don't know how much longer he wants to go.
Well, he made his first. The running back, Emery Smith, the blocker in front of him. Harris, touchdown.
Double team up in the middle. Touchdown.
Longwell for the point after. And he makes it a 4-point Green Bay lead with 7:32 to go third quarter. The Packers, who had fallen behind 14-0, now have the lead in the game. Kimura, there's Yamaguchi. And the return for Marcus Dowdell. Flag is down, so is Dowdell at the 24-yard line. Signed 10-day contracts with the Green Bay Packers. Not a long time. What do you get for 10 days,
We were
Paul?
there, weren't we, Paul? Huh?
Joe and I were there. These guys are getting ready to sign. You get $700 a week every 7 days. And the guy that was their interpreter, the first thing, Joe and I walked in the room, the first thing he turns and he says to the Green Bay Packers, how much do they get paid? And he says, it's 7 days. It's $700 a week. He says, it'll be 10 days. And they get 2 checks. I mean, that's the first thing out of their mouth.
Good agent.
Well, that's what an agent does. He takes care of that stuff.
Get the money.
Pass complete up to about the 17, and it's Reggie Jones, the free agent from LSU. He was on IR a year ago with a badly injured thigh. And Pat Barnes, who will go the rest of this half in a fight with Billy Joe Tolliver for the 3rd roster spot as the quarterback.
Pat Barnes is making a system adjustment as well. He came out of Cal in that West Coast offense. That's the reason why he went to Kansas City, and they liked him. Now, all of a sudden, he has to make the same kind of adjustments that Elvis Grbac has, is throw the ball down the field a little bit more, learn to make some different throws.
Vaughn Booker, who was hurt earlier, is back in there along the defensive line for Green Bay, and Vanover will get another carry up to about the 19-yard line.
You know, it's never a question with a guy that you convert over from a position, in this case from Kamara, over to running back. What it is how well is he able to pick up blitzes? That's the biggest thing. How well can he protect your quarterback? Mike Holmgren certainly has guys in his backfield who gets it done very well, and William Henderson.
I just watched that last run of Tamarick Vanover's, and you said it right at the beginning the first time he carried the ball. Joe, he's going to look where he's going. He's burying his head as soon as he comes to the line of scrimmage.
Ball's at the 19, 3rd and 3. Nice throw, nice catch, first down.
That's what I like about having him in the backfield, guys. You now can split him out. He's a back. So now you split him out, and you either get mismatches with safeties or linebackers. Here's a case where he's outside, puts the move inside, winds up against Scott McCarron, but it's a nice throw by Pat Barnes to keep it outside and low.
Got away from McGarrahan.
Up over the top.
Barnes has tremendous touch. You would expect that out of somebody from a West Coast offense system. Vanover and Bostic split backs now. And they'll blow this one dead. I think the play clock expired. Great, cruel story. Vanover now splits out as a wide receiver on 1st and 15. And they toss it to Bostic. He cuts it back. All right, how about Pat Barnes in the Powerball?
Training camp, you know, veterans have always been cruel to first-year players and rookies in training camp. Greg Minuski felt like he wanted to do something special this year. So what he did is he got Elvis Gerbach to get Pat Barnes. He bought a Powerball ticket. So Barnes wouldn't tell Minuski what it was, but he trusted Gerbach. Gave him the numbers. They're on the flight out here from Kansas City. Over the ocean, they announced the number on the plane, and it's Pat Barnes' number. And he's running up and down thinking he won $250 million. It's a good thing he didn't get to Marty and say something.
Absolutely. Vanover on the toss. Cuts it back, drilled as he got maybe a half a yard.
The reason why they wanted to move Turmeric to back was they felt like, first of all, it's an opportunity to get him to touch the ball 15 times or so a game, but also they felt like the strength of his game was his ability to run with the football. So this became the perfect scenario. Plus, it creates problems for defenses. Do you want to go with a nickel package because he's in the game? And if you stay with your base, then you wind up with some mismatches as a receiver.
Yeah, if you go nickel, the first thing Marty said, you want to go nickel with him in, we're going to run the ball. We will run it with him.
3rd and 9. Kevin Huntley is in as a wide receiver along with Darrell Hobbs. Blitz against Barnes. To the sideline, intended for Hobbs. Out of bounds and incomplete. Good coverage by Fogel. Barnes hit from behind by Mike Pryor just as he threw. Milburn, another hole. Out to the 32. There's another marker down, back at the 15-yard line after a 19-yard return from Glenn Milburn.
Illegal block in the back. Number 82 on the return team, on the run back. At the 10-yard penalty, first down.
Third quarter, it's 21-17. The Packers over the Chiefs as we leave you with the busy streets of Shibuya. Green Bay takes over at the 7-yard line. Hasselbeck floats it to the sideline, incomplete. Here's how the Love Getty works. Watch this. I want you guys to go to the other side of the booth. I need plenty of room up here.
Oh, my.
Hasselbeck taken down on the sack.
I didn't realize how tight you were holding on.
That was a little scary, fellas, I got to admit.
Moving over here.
That was...
Right, just try and avoid it like it never happened.
I felt very fortunate I wasn't involved in that.
Yeah, I'm going to sit over here.
Yeah.
Sit out here and left you. He grabbed awfully tight.
You two had an argument, or?
I am not saying a thing.
That's you? Plead the fifth.
3rd and 11. And I'm sure you kept the Love Gettys, too, didn't you?
No comment.
Tipped, nearly intercepted, almost picked off by Brandon Moore.
Every ball that Matt Hasselbeck has thrown has been high, which means that he's really rushing the ball to try and get it out instead of setting with a little more patience. You can certainly understand it as a rookie in his first game.
The adrenaline's got to be flowing a little bit.
Yeah, and the coach will take him on the sideline and tell young man, look, don't you try to make things happen. Just let them happen It'll be natural for you. You'll see it. It'll come.
I think it's also great that Sherm Lewis is down on the field, that he can get with the quarterback, he can get with people, and really coach and instruct from down there.
Sean Landetta to kick out of his own end zone to Joe Horn, who waits near midfield. Drives them all the way back to the 40. And Horn brought down as he reaches the Green Bay 48-yard line. Scott McGarrahan makes the tackle for Green Bay. Play action, drop it off to Bostic. He runs right between two tacklers down to the Green Bay 32-yard line. Of course, Favre will never back down. He'd like to see that record in every other one. He'll be going for 5 straight years of 30 touchdown passes or more.
This is a football team that realizes that there are some records out there to play for. It's not just the pride factor to go back to another Super Bowl, which they feel like they can do, and that's number one on Brett Favre's mind. But also, being a 4-time MVP, he has the people around him. They believe in what they do, and he certainly feels like he can be the guy to get it done.
Well, you wouldn't want to, going into the year, you wouldn't want to vote against him and Barry Sanders, would you? A lot of movement that time in a flag.
No, you know, when you look at Favre, and we saw it last year in the Super Bowl. I mean,
Ball start. Number 93 on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
This team, offensively, Joe, and defensively, depend on number 4.
Yeah.
I mean, they just know that if they defensively can stay in a ball game, that guy can win it.
Absolutely. It's the ultimate confidence.
Now, you don't know, but he actually had the play sheet upside down. See, he has no clue. Look at, see that? He's not looking at it. He has no clue. Look at it. He's making believe, and he knows it. Like Frank cares.
Showing it to Frank Winters, and he can't read either.
Just off the fingertips of Marcus Dowdell, had a shot at it. Some contact there from McGarrahan and Roosevelt Blackman.
That was, again, another throw that Pat Barnes should not have made. He's going to have to learn to be more patient with the football. If it's not there, throw it away.
Here's another one of the Packers' rookie draft choices, 3rd-round pick out of Tennessee, Jonathan Brown. He's 265. They're going to use him primarily as a pass rusher. Of course, he was chasing Reggie White for that school record in sacks. And another whistle.
Well, he's learned how to point.
Start. Number 70 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Marcus Spears.
Jonathan Brown was over Marcus Spears, and he saw him move. He pointed to the official.
Marcus from Northwest State, that's in Louisiana, and he'll come out. And Tavar Cross, a freshman from that football factory, UConn, will come onto the field.
Yeah, it looks like Marcus has lost the contact.
Bostic is the single setback as Vanover goes into a slot. Barnes chased out of the pocket. Tried to run for it. He got as much as he could, driven out of bounds at the 30.
I think Joey might have heard you. He's learning something now. When the rush is on, and not to throw the ball away, he pulled it down. He did a couple of great moves to get himself open and got the ball down the field.
He had a chance to see what kind of athlete he is, too. I really think that you have to be an athlete today to play the quarterback position. Somewhere in the course of a game, a quarterback is going to have to pick up a first down or make a big play with his legs to help his offense out. That time he got himself at least into makeable 3rd down position.
3rd and 8. Barnes lost one. Tate to fight for the football. It's a touchdown. Willie Tate got between Pat Terrell and Scott McGarrahan and came down with it.
I'm not amazed, but I'm seeing Tate. He's been open all morning long, and now he's into the afternoon. He's still open.
Almost all day.
Morning and afternoon.
Well, you're right.
66. Now look at the block. It starts here. He gets inside and moves outside. That's excellent blocking.
And as Barnes sets, does a nice job of staying in the pocket. Now look at the way he puts the ball up and over. That's what you want to do. Give the guy a chance to make a play. I'm not convinced that he catches this, though. I think it gets knocked away from him.
He catches it. Watch, he catches it between his legs. Here's the ball in between his legs. The ball doesn't hit the ground. His leg does, and he makes the catch. That's outstanding.
That really is. That even makes it more impressive. Pat wasn't sure, now he is.
Pretty good job for a 255-pounder to have hands like that.
And legs.
That's right. There was a flag down on the point after. 23 straight weeks we're looking forward
And
to.
really looking forward to being with you guys for the next lifetime.
As long as you don't have those love getties with you, I'm not doing that.
I'm going to leave mine here.
I will never do that again.
No.
It's going to be a pleasure. We're going to see some good football.
How'd you wind up doing this?
Our producer,
The boss.
Fred Gadelli, can
boss.
talk you guys into anything.
Boss told us to do it.
Anything for the good of the telecast, he told you.
Masato Itai in on special teams, one of the 4 Japanese-born players who were invited to training camp by these two clubs. Nache Abe was hurt earlier in the week when he got the wrong end of a collision with Wayne Simmons in the Packers training camp. That's happened to a few guys.
Here's a guy that may have himself a motorcycle right here.
You're right. That is the prize for the MVP for this game, and Milburn has had 2 big returns.
You got this TV stuff all down, doesn't he?
Nakamura.
He wants the motorcycle.
That means something, Paul. He's saying something to you, but I'm not sure.
Put me in, Coach.
Off the upright and through. So the penalty did make a difference. He just got it through.
The size of money that he's going to get, whatever the number's going to be.
And I think both sides are rather confident that they will find a speedy compromise. Stoyanovich, line drive kick. Preston at the 9. Roel Preston, the second time he has broken a kick tonight. Got it out to the 30. But the only thing they haven't looked good on. Hasselbeck wants to screen. Milburn. Nice reverse by Glenn Milburn. And he is into Kansas City territory.
Michael, the one area that Glenn Milburn has not been really used a lot on has been in the offense, and he'll get his chance.
Milburn gains 22 on the screen pass. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The Chiefs leading the Packers by 3.
Quarter part.
I was just letting you handle that.
They're going wild here in Tokyo with Love Gettys and Cheeseheads. That's not a good combination. Draw play, Bostic. 40, 37-yard line. Check it, Michael Blair, the fullback out of Ball State, who gets his first chance to carry the football. He was with Kansas City in camp in '97, and then out of football the whole year. Signed on with Green Bay a couple of months ago.
The thing about it is with these guys, with the 80-man rosters, a lot of these guys are going to have plenty of time. They're going to have, especially the Green Bay Packers, they're going to have 4 games in which to keep all of these guys and take a good hard look at them.
Milburn as a running back. Cuts it back inside, not much there.
I started to talk about it before we went to break, Mike, because I think Glenn Milburn will be used by the Green Bay Packers as he wasn't last year with the Detroit Lions. I felt like they overlooked an opportunity. Of course, when you have Barry Sanders there, you can't say that. But I think in 3rd down situations, as a pass receiver out of the backfield, he's going to help this Green Bay Packer team out.
Well, I think he was expendable simply because of Barry Sanders. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Did a good job of picking it up and then throw incomplete. Williams on the coverage against Lee Doremus, and Hasselback threw it wide.
Milburn got an excellent block on Brandon Moore, number 57. Brandon Moore was blitzing up the middle. Milburn stepped up and took him on. You know, this is what they're asking him to do. Not only catch the ball, not only run with it. On the left-hand side, number 30. Watch him on 57. Brandon Moore has had a clear shot. Milburn just takes him down. That's outstanding play.
And Glenn Milburn is only 5'8", about 175 pounds. Magic Benton is in for the first time. So is Corey Bradford, rookie wide receiver that they think a lot of. And Bradford makes the catch. 1 year of college football at Jackson State. He is a track kid. He's got a great deal of speed.
Yeah, but that 1 year had 9 touchdowns, 4 of them over 50 yards.
All right, we saw Milburn pick up a blitz. Watch Bradford. Blair on the right-hand side, number 27. Watch this guy pick up a blitz. Bang. I know that's a defensive back, but these guys are going down and taking these guys on. Blair does an outstanding job.
We're really excited about Bradford and what he can do after the catch. Didn't get much of an opportunity that time, but he can run. Another blitz. Hasselback just trying not to get killed, and he's buried back at the 31-yard line.
Does it surprise you in a game like this with fourth quarter that, they're blitzing every single down?
Well, hey, you have to understand, that's what the Kansas City Chiefs do on defense. So what Gunther Cunningham is going to do, he's going to actually line up and play the defenses that he plays. He's going to bring his inside backers. He's going to bring his outside backers. That's what he does defensively. No matter who's on the field, whether it's Donnie Edwards or Derek Thomas or one of the other guys, he's going to bring them because that's the way they play defense.
2nd and 15. Hasselback's going to have to run for it, and he's hit from behind and brought down about a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's Eric Hicks, number 98, and this guy just kept coming and coming and coming. He didn't even slow down.
One of the things that Joe Andruzzi worked on when he went to the NFL Europe, was he had an opportunity to get his hands and become a better pass blocker. There you see him get him up quickly and hold good square position and give it a good punch to give Hasselback a chance to be able to do something with the football.
Hicks has made quite an impression. You see the information on Andruzzi. Hicks has made quite an impression on Marty Schottenheimer in camp. He says he thinks he's going to make the team. And there isn't a lot of room on this defensive unit to make the team. Hasselback hit as he throws, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Kansas City. Robert Williams, the rookie from North Carolina. Bob Harlan on the top, the president of the Packers. Ron Wolf, the general manager, right below him. July 8th in Green Bay, the first outdoor and the largest Packer stockholder meeting took place. 18,707 showed up to get the yearly report on their prize investment at Lambeau Field. To get more inside information on this one-of-a-kind sports happening, you can pick up a copy of the current issue of ESPN magazine. Kansas City will try to work on the clock with a 3-point lead. Greg Robinson from Northeast Louisiana. Both of these teams, with their fans and the facilities, have a great home field advantage, and they have made the most of it in recent years.
2 of the loudest venues that we have ever been in.
Absolutely.
There's a guy armed with a new contract. Thrilled to be. Spider-Man.
And they love him in Kansas City.
I'll say, all I'm knocking about him, he's got a great attitude, man.
He loves to play football.
Oh, he's a player.
Barnes to throw. Zips that one, but it's picked off. Intercepted by Anthony Fogle, and Fogle takes it deep in Kansas City territory. That was really about the first time that Barnes has gunned one, and he had it picked.
Well, Michael, yes, the question was, how good is his arm with the wrist and the problems that he had? This is a fine throw right here. The problem is he just leads it too much. You drop back, and you want a quarterback to find where he wants to throw. Focus on his head. He knows where he wants to go. He just makes a throw that is out too far in front of the receiver. Now, the question is, did the receiver break it off too quickly? There's a hole that you throw to, but you have to make sure that the intersection of the ball and the receiver at the same time. There's a case where it was a little early.
Break for Green Bay. They go back to the ground game, and David Klingler has come in at quarterback. They give this to Tommy Nakamura. Oh, I'm sorry, Glenn Milburn. I thought Nakamura had checked into the ball game, and Milburn nearly took it into the end zone. We were not expecting to see Klingler. Been with the Raiders the last couple of years.
Matt Hasselbeck on the last series when he threw the interception took a real shot. And it may be more than just the fact that he's out of the game. Might be the fact he can't come back.
And Klingler wants a timeout. I should point out this must be an American because the Japanese people are too smart to do this.
Think about him getting on that bullet and going home at 180 miles an hour.
First and goal. Milburn trying to get outside. Touchback, flag is down. Milburn, touchdown. Let's see if it comes back. Glenn Milburn being very, very patient. Preliminary signal holding against Green Bay.
Well, Glenn, don't leave.
He's going to get a chance to do it again.
Holding. Number 58 on the offense. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Mike Flanagan, the center.
You know, they got Milburn as a return guy, Joe, and it's not surprising anybody, including Mike Holmgren, that this guy can run the ball the way he's running the football.
Right side of your screen, number 58. You see him as the center slides over. He just takes the nose tackle, Darius Holland, and just pulls him to the ground. Now, Milburn does a nice job of cutting back, but of course there was a lane there because of the hold.
Not much there this time as Michael Blair gets a crack up the middle.
You know, this is one of those plays that they like to run on the goal line. All teams do is that real quick up the middle. The only problem with that play is if your guys aren't blocking at the line of scrimmage right now, you're dead.
And also,
once you get through, you got a touchdown.
And also, if you guess a certain defense that you think you're going to get and you don't get it, there's more than one person that do. Sherm Lewis down on the field for this particular game. He's probably going to be there next game.
Second and goal from the 13. Play action by Klingler. Now he's in trouble. Escapes. Klingler shows you a little fancy footwork and some athletic ability.
David Klingler has become a part of the Green Bay Packers because Mike Holmgren is just curious to see how good he can be. He really felt like the kid has a lot of natural arm strength, which is something you just can't teach. I think anybody who can throw the football has a little bit of an advantage. But Mike was curious about the fact that he wanted to see how his arm and his feet work together and feels like he just hasn't had the mechanical training to be able to go out and play the position as effectively as he possibly can. And he's in a very good place right now to learn it.
Having seen him in college, I thought he had a chance, but his record as a starter, only 4-20. Of course, he hasn't really been in real good situations either. Play clock was running down, so we have a timeout. We'll talk more about David Klingler in just a game, or more likely what she has to drink than the ball game. It's a 3-point lead for the Chiefs.
Everyone in the family has a Favre jersey on.
So does this guy.
Amazing.
He earned his, Favre, with a short first quarter, and Derek Thomas visited him early and often in the Green Bay backfield. Third and goal from the 9.
Go.
Milburn in motion. Long signal count for Klingler. Sidearms it, and incomplete. And it really looked like Corey Bradford was going to have a chance to catch that ball. He couldn't keep his balance and make the turn.
Corey Bradford was wide open in the end zone. There wasn't really anybody around him. All Klingler had to do was just hand it to him.
They wind up going three wide receivers to the right and let Corey work one-on-one outside. Now he starts up. This ball is just thrown outside too far, and he gets his feet caught up. There's a miscue between quarterback and receiver.
Conway with a field goal attempt to tie it. And it's 24-24 with 8:41 to go in the ball game from Tokyo. And they know if you fix your own sign, we're going to show you.
They didn't do a very good job painting, I got to be honest with you, these two characters. He had more in his pants than he did in his body.
Dowdell will be deep to receive. It has been a sloppy second half. In fact, quite sloppy since the starters left at the end of the first quarter. Nice high floater this time. Dowdell, 2 yards deep, decides to bring it out. Got back to the 20-yard line, so a 22-yard return for Dowdell. Ronnie Anderson with the tackle.
You know, one thing we didn't mention this game is the Packers. Greg Newsome is not playing in this game tonight, and he is healthy, folks. He's back, and he could play. But on this artificial surface, they felt there's really no reason. And even when they had all these guys get sick and go down, Fritz Shermer said, well, we made the decision. It was a good decision not to play Newsome before this game started. There's no reason for us to dress him and play him tonight. The next 4 games that they play are on grass.
And that's one of the reasons Newsome, coming off major knee surgery, played 1 play last year. And the last thing he wanted to do is come over and play him on first and get hurt again. Barnes throws complete. Nice toss. Good catch and a first down for Kansas City. ESPN Magazine is on your newsstands now with our special summer double issue. Inside, you'll find out the 99 ways to live the life of the ultimate fan, as well as our NFL coverage that features total access inside Gilbert Brown's refrigerator, Gus Farad in the crosshairs, and a peek at next year's top free agents. Toussaint Waterman made the last catch. First down, Kansas City. Barnes goes back to work. Can't find anybody. This one's tipped out of bounds.
I really like what Jimmy Ray has done here from an offensive coordination standpoint. Pat Barnes throws an interception. So you come back out, you call a play very similar to the one he threw the interception with, the quick post, and let him throw it again so that he can see the timing of it and what it's supposed to do. That's just a good job of coaching to give your quarterback some confidence and evaluation process that he can go through himself.
But I don't like the last play. Throw that thing out of bounds, throw it away towards the line of scrimmage.
Well, we've seen him do that all day. Night. Game.
Trying to fit something in there. Barnes to the sideline. This one's incomplete to Chris Ortiz out of Southern Connecticut State. Here's Craig Newsome. Did not suit up tonight, as Paul was saying, simply because they're playing on an artificial surface and they did not want to get him hurt. He is critical to their cause, certainly with Doug Evans moving on in free agency. Newsome has to come back healthy and be able to play.
And the one thing they lose when Doug Evans moves on is they lose really a big corner. And the division they play in, they're going up against some pretty wide receivers. That's why Newsome being healthy is so vitally important.
There's Terry McDaniel. He did not suit up tonight. They got him as a free agent from the Raiders.
Well, he was going to play. Kansas City just took time out. But McDaniel was going to play, except that this morning when he got his knee blew up on him.
40 to go in the ball game from Tokyo. Kansas City football, 3rd and 10 from their own 36. The quarterback is Pat Barnes. Flag is down. The Packers had jumped offside. That pass too high for Ortiz.
You know, when we're looking at a game as 24-24 and you're the first preseason game, trust me on this one, I know. Neither one of these coaches want to win overtime. And I know we
Offside, number 97 on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
I don't know, Paul. I think it's an opportunity to continually evaluate some of the young talent on these teams, don't you?
Yeah, they have planes waiting on the runway at Narita.
That was Paul Fraze. You know, Mike Holmgren did let Denver score so he can get the ball back in the Super Bowl, and he might have another great opportunity.
I don't think Mike's in a very charitable mood right now, the way this game started with his starters in there. Barnes with good protection. Now he scrambles. Hit from behind and dumped back at the 41-yard line. That was a coverage sack as Jonathan Brown finally got to him from behind.
Pat Barnes made a good decision right there. He starts to move up inside. He sees that there's no place to go. He doesn't force the football. He takes the sack. You've got to allow your defense to go out and make plays for you, too.
And on the other hand, take a look at 91, Jonathan Brown. Watch the hustle. Victor Riley blocking on him. He just keeps coming and keeps coming. He doesn't stop. That's young blood.
We've seen the same thing from the guy who was playing before him, Bonnie Holland. Same type of pursuit.
Aguiar to punt. Roel Preston goes deep and almost blocked. Preston turns the corner, forced out of bounds pass to 30.
Numbers in a system that nobody else runs. And it really doesn't serve you well when you move to the next level. That's exactly what happened to him.
But boy, he showed he had an arm down there.
When we showed that won and loss record, was that true?
Yeah.
Was that scary?
We didn't make it up, Paul.
I know, but I mean, isn't that scary when you look at it?
Consider the situations he has been in. David Klingler has not exactly been with the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs his entire career either.
Well, I know.
Chris McCoy is the new running back, number 41. He checks out. And coming in is Anthony McKinney, who is a tight end. They lined him up in the backfield that time. Derek Thomas made the statement that coaches hate to hear players say. He says, you know, we can be 16-0.
Yeah. And
coaches just go, oh, come on, man, don't do that to us.
I was talking to him briefly on the field, and he said, you know, when we were 13-3 in the previous 2 out of the 3 years, we thought we might be pretty good. We feel like we have the talent now to be able to go out and play at the level we feel like we can.
Klingler will keep it himself and get out of bounds. Here's Derek's rationale why he thinks they have a chance to be 16-0.
There's no reason why we shouldn't have very high expectations, and I know it's often said, oh, well, you shouldn't say that. Well, I mean, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. I have confidence in the guys that are around me and our coaching staff. And if we go out and perform and do the things that we're capable of doing, there's no reason why we can't be 16-0.
That is a mighty goal in this league, and certainly the division they'll be playing in. Here's the dump off to McCoy, who is facing a 2. That's a loose ball, and Kansas City has it. So Green Bay starting to end this game the same way they began it, with a turnover. In at quarterback, Masato Itai is in as the wide receiver to the far side. Huntley is in motion. They'll come back with the toss to Haynes, who is back in at running back. I think that's amazing. The fact that he's the longest tenured coach in the league in only his 10th year. Doesn't that strike you?
It speaks to the pressures that coaches are put under, and it also speaks to the changeover in teams. A lot of free agents coming and going, so you really don't have a football team to coach like they did before. So I'm not as surprised as you might think.
Whistle will stop play. I think it's when you see that line initially, you go, oh, that can't be right, can it? I mean, that's the only thing missing on his resume, an appearance and a victory in the championship game.
He and, of course, Carl Peterson and Lamar Hunt, I mean, the executives of the Kansas City Chiefs have put together what they feel could be the best team they've had.
Defensively, I don't think you're going to get any argument. 2nd and 20. Pat Barnes changing the play. Itai and Huntley are his wide receivers. They'll dump it off to Haynes. Haynes hit after a gain of only about 2. Jude Waddy and Anthony Hicks make the tackle.
Victor Riley continuing to work on his game at the left tackle position, number 66. Sets up. This time it's on Jonathan Brown. Gets his hands outside a little bit, but still manages to keep good position. The one thing that they talk about him is that he has excellent recoverability, the ability to move and get in front. Lamar Hunt on the right, Carl Peterson with the little blue bow tie on.
Carl Peterson, one of the most recognizable personnel guys in this league, has done a wonderful job. He and Ron Wolf. And Bobby Beathard, it's tough to find three guys who have had their kind of track record. A lot of contact on the throw, no flag. As Toussaint Waterman was downfield, and Roosevelt Blackman was right with him. This will bring up a 4th and 18. They'll have to kick it away with 3:19 to go in the game.
Now you're talking about Victor Riley. He's played almost 3/4 of this football game, Joe, and you got to look at the stamina of this young man. He has really performed well for Kansas City.
Aguiar to kick to Milburn. And here's where the Packers could use a big return. Beautiful kick by Aguiar. Milburn will let this one go. And it just made the end zone.
Potential to score.
Yeah, but you get a chance to look at some really young talent.
Yes,
guys.
you do.
I think
Yeah, you do.
And sometimes it takes a little longer to evaluate.
Milburn is the running back. Reverses his field. Look at Klingler out in front throwing a block. What great hustle by David Klingler, who went by Milburn like he was standing still and threw a great block.
You do the things you need to do at the position. This is the way Brett Favre plays the position. You see David Klingler now trying to help out and become a lead blocker for Glenn Milburn. The sweep to the right, Milburn pushes it. Look at the pursuit of Kansas City's defense. He's got them all there. Now it's a punt return. That's all it is. And David Klingler's going to jump up in the wedge.
Klingler back to action, goes on play action, and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Tyrone Davis out of Virginia makes the catch. So Klingler's trying to get them into position to win this ball game.
Well, when you see Milburn change the field like that, he's an experienced runner. But I can guarantee you that the coaching staff is going to say to him, you know, they say to the young players, look, the hole is not there. You make something happen. We don't need you to be doing what he just did.
But very few have his ability to change direction with that kind of speed.
Milburn straight up the middle. This time it breaks it. Glenn Milburn down to the 21-yard line.
Give him the motorcycle. Give him the motorcycle.
33 yards for Milburn. And you can see he's not a guy that's just going to run away from everybody. He has excellent speed, but he's not the fastest guy out there.
You see Mike Colton? Colton, get over here. I want to talk to you about the motorcycle.
Wonderful job of reading the blocks up the middle. Good job by the offensive line in the backs. Now he just makes some cuts. Terrific vision. Now he knows exactly what he wants to do, realizes he can't get out of bounds, can't outrun anybody, so he continues to pursue and go.
It's 20 in position near the Kansas City 20-yard line. Michael Blair will get the carry. Working on the clock right now, and Kansas City will kill it with 1:53 to go, so Green Bay can't run it down.
There's Glenn Milburn's motorcycle.
How does he going to get that on at 7:47?
Well, that goes to the MVP of the American Bowl here. A little bit different than the trophies and masks that have been presented before, but I would certainly think if there's a candidate, he's run away with the balloting.
How many guys do you think are right now trying to con him out of it?
I mean, he's done everything. Done it all. Close to 200 yards in total offense in this game.
I bet he's already getting offers. Mike Holmgren's probably already made him a deal. And Milburn are the running backs. Excuse me. Smith is now back in as the blocking back. Milburn behind Emery Smith. Get back to the original line of scrimmage and no more as Ty Farton took him down. And Kansas City will use its last timeout with 1:45 to go.
Well, I like Emery Smith as a blocker. Not, you know, he's a pretty good runner, but Emery Smith, I mean, he gets down low to the ground and he comes out and he goes into the hole. He has Milburn right behind him. He knows it. Then he goes downfield and hits somebody.
Milburn will sweep the other way, cut it back, try to stay in bounds, and there is a flag down. And this will be a nice break for Kansas City if it's against Green Bay because it stops the clock.
They're calling for tripping.
And Mike Holmgren will not like that.
Holmgren saying anywhere, not now.
Number 58 right in the middle. Flanagan comes out and then whips that leg back.
Yeah.
That was really wasn't that high a trip. It was a low trip.
Now it's 3rd and 19 at the 31. From here, it would be a 48-yard field goal attempt. And Ryan Longwell appears to be the guy who will kick it. This is 3rd down all over again, so you'll run some more time off the clock. And they go straight up the middle. Milburn gets it down near the 26. So we're looking at about 43 yards. Kansas City cannot stop the clock again. Coaching until the very end. I mean, they you know, there are things, as Joe mentioned earlier, and Paul did too, you try to work on specific things, but you, in the end, you love to win, no matter what the situation.
That's why you play the game.
Yeah.
You come out to win.
Longwell. From 44. 56 seconds to go. It will be Kansas City football.
And this...
Barnes. 4 wide receiver set. Bostic is the running back. Barnes looked right, left, and back right, and threw intended for Reggie Jones.
Well, they got the field goal kicker I'd like to have in the game, Stoyanovich.
Well, from here, let's see, it would be an 80-yard attempt.
He's going to take a run at it.
He's good. He's good, but he's not that good.
I think Pat Barnes has to just methodically try and pick up 7, 8, 9 yards. There's no sense in trying to force it down the field yet. The thing that you remind your team when you're in the huddle is work towards the sidelines, save me the clock, and get out of bounds.
They can only use the sideline to stop it. Barnes. Boy, and a short arm job by Darrell Hobbs. As a matter of fact, those are the shortest arms I ever saw. They never got over his shoulders.
Yeah, I still don't like the throw, though. I don't like where he's putting the football. He's not getting it out quick enough for me. Just not throwing the football. I think in areas where you have to make plays between the corner and the safety towards the sidelines. If you're going to do it, throw the deep corners or throw it big deep in and bury the ball on the ground.
The numbers on Barnes, and now he's got to get the first down to keep the drive alive.
But don't they, at this point in time, they give you the middle of the field because they know you don't have any timeouts.
You better take it here. Barnes in trouble, got away. Still running, throws deep down the sideline, and this one's going to be incomplete.
Well, Kansas City did Green Bay a favor. 3 passes, 3 incompletes, little bit of time off the clock.
30. Well, he completed one to 35 yards to Lockett last year.
The only catch Lockett had.
That's right. They will kick this one away. Roel Preston. Oh. Huge block, flag down. Mike Bowman threw the block for him. And Preston nailed out of bounds. So it's going to be first down now deep in their own territory with only 25 seconds to go. Neither team with a timeout at this point.
Most upsetting, I think, for Mike Holmgren is the longer this game goes, the more plays that are happening, the more likelihood of somebody that he doesn't want to have get hurt will wind up getting hurt. Now, that's the biggest concern that he has at this point.
That's right. You know, I'm not joking about overtime game now, that these guys want to get out of here and don't want to continue to play, but there's really it's not necessary. You got 5 preseason games. They don't need any more time in this ball game. They've seen enough mistakes.
And he has certain positions on this team that are really thin, and guys have played a long time tonight, and I don't think he wants to see them play any longer as well. Andre Rison and the guys celebrating the fact that we've got free football.
Actually, what they're celebrating is we're not on the field.
Yeah, look at all the guys who are celebrating. You have no pads on.
Sports Center coming up after our broadcast. I'll get you caught up to date on all these stories. Kansas City has won the toss and will receive as we start with 15 minutes on the clock. Conway to kick it off, and Dowdell waits at the goal line. Nice kickoff. Dowdell a yard deep. A seam up the middle and breaks it to the outside. Marcus Dowdell across the 40 to the 44-yard line. He ran like he's got a plane to catch.
That's a nice job of just individual effort. He made the initial contact at the 25-yard line and just continued to avoid people. Takes it right up the heart. You've got to get close to the wedge, which he does. He gets inside now. Now he starts feeling his way. There's the first hit. There's another hit. He breaks a tackle. There's another move to the outside and just continues to fight. Does a good job of protecting the ball and getting as much as he can.
Excellent field position for the Chiefs. They'll start from their own 42. And Barnes will get in some extra work here. Greg Robinson is the running back. Robinson gets the first carry. Maybe a yard, certainly no more than that.
Greg Robinson almost lost that handoff. Pat Barnes fumbled it from the center and just barely managed to get it into his stomach. Here comes the snap. Now, Barnes really doesn't have that good a control. He missed where he wants to get it to him and just reaches out and hands it to him. Lucky there wasn't a fumble there for Kansas City.
And most mistakes you see in a ball game like this, or any ball game, at the end of the ball game, these guys are getting tired. Because, remember, they had the first unit out, the second units are all out of the ball game, and these guys have been playing for a long period of time.
Barnes look out from behind, and he is sacked back at the 35-yard line. Pat Terrell, about the third time he has come on a free safety blitz.
Well, Pat Terrell comes from the top side, and absolutely nobody touches him. Victor Riley is out there, number 66, and I don't believe that that's his man, but Pat Terrell comes out, and just take a look. Nobody even touched him. You get a clear shot at the quarterback, you better make the tackle.
Somebody yelled or Barnes saw him out of the corner of his eye, or he could have been plastered all over the turf here.
It's good awareness. I mean, those are the things that you have to recognize at the line of scrimmage before the play is snapped.
Now 3rd and 16. Another blitz. And Barnes is going to go down again. Green Bay throwing the kitchen sink at him. That was Keith McKenzie.
I mean, what I'm telling you guys, you're all tired. That's why the coaches really, in any preseason game, you don't want to go to overtime. These guys have been out there a long time. Victor Riley is on that other side. McKenzie just comes up the field. Nobody touches him. Take a look on the outside. Look at Victor Riley. He gets knocked down. He should have been looking outside, was looking inside. McKenzie's sitting out there.
Aguiar to kick to Milburn, who has been the MVP of this ballgame. Great kick. Boomer. Lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone. Somehow it stayed right on the sideline and went in. Schrader back in the ballgame at wide receiver, trying to make something happen. And Schrader will have to get some consideration as an MVP in this game. He's made some good catches.
You already made a decision, huh?
Yeah, don't be throwing in other names, Mike.
You know me, I just want to complicate this. The NFL, of course, picks the MVP, and they have not made their decision. Blair, nice chunk of yardage, and gets it into Kansas City territory.
Yeah, he ran over Andruzzi. Joe Andruzzi, number 70, the guard. That's where they went up into the hole, and that hole was there. He's trying to make a statement. You know, the two of them are very good friends. Marco Rivera, they're fighting for the same position. They're great friends. This guy here has had a terrific football game.
Around here in overtime at the Tokyo Dome. Sports Center coming up following our broadcast. Green Bay with the ball 1st and 10 at the Kansas City 44. Milburn is back in at tailback, and he'll get the carry buried in the backfield. And that time, Ty Parton just took Matt Willig back into the backfield with him.
Almost got the handoff. had he been paying attention, he would have had the handoff. Number 97, Parton. Watch this jump that he gets on the ball. You see him right in the middle of the screen. Look at this. He comes right through. He almost gets the handoff. He's right there. What a great play.
So now 2nd and 15 for Klingler. 4-man rush, time to throw. Got it to Schrader. It's at 22. I believe that's 5 for Schrader tonight. Klingler's looked pretty good, hasn't he?
Bill Schrader also doing a real nice job of catching the football. He's a big target. We talked about the guy. He's 6'3", around 200 pounds, and one of the fastest receivers the Packers have. And Mike Holmgren may be on his way to solving some of the depth at wide receiver.
That would certainly answer a big question mark for him. Back to the ground. They'll pick up 7-8 yards with Blair as he just pounds forward. May even have a first down at the 11.
I like the way Michael Blair runs. He runs with his shoulders low, so when you come up to hit him, you either get shoulders or knees, nothing else in between.
Came out of Ball State. Was with Kansas City in camp a year ago, and Marty's hot.
They're going to run the ball to the right side. I know that. To the left side.
Here they go to the left. Blair gets a couple.
What?
You had a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, I know. Andrews's the guy when you look at and you talk to Schrader making an impression. This is what the coaches are really looking for. They're going to do the smart thing. I think you know, kick the field goal and get out of here, and that's what they're going to do. But you know, you're going to find some players that have stamina, and these are the guys you're looking for to stay around a little bit longer.
Now, to Joe Andrews's credit also, Paul, here's a guy who played in NFL Europe, so he has not had any time off.
Right.
The guy has just been playing year-round football.
Conway from 25 yards out to win it. Look at Brett Favre. Look at Holmgren. Just that wry smile on his face, like, oh, come on, guys. We get it all the way down here. We got a chip shot field goal.
And, you know, your heart breaks. Your heart just breaks for Brett Conway.
You hear Greg Robinson, the running back, as Kansas City sets up 1st and 20. Barnes throws over the middle, intended for Chad Flick, the rookie tight end from San Diego State.
Chad Flick had a tough time trying to avoid all those white shirts. He had to go through like 5 guys that were sitting in the middle of the field, and he happened to be the only guy going through there. Oh, young man, I really feel bad for you.
You know, this is the time where you ignore how long you've been playing or what you've been on the field. What you do as a quarterback is you get your team together and you say, look, we need one more drive. And I don't care who you have on the field. You just have to have that kind of leadership.
Bostic is the single setback, and now they bring Robinson back with him. Barnes airing it out. Caught down at the 31-yard line. That's Reggie Jones, and Barnes hung that one up.
He just goes right by Anthony Fogel. He's thrown the ball deep, so very, very well. We saw the touchdown pass to Tate. Now what he does, he sets in the pocket, he audibles, and Green Bay jumps out of the blitz. And this is just pure speed. Reggie Jones just runs inside. Now watch where the ball comes down. Look at how good this throw is.
All right, then let's go back to the offensive line to give him protection. Victor Riley, he has played a long game. He's played almost an entire football game. He's on Jonathan Brown, another rookie. Look at that pass protection.
Riley came in, I believe, late in the first quarter, so you're right. He has played nearly an entire football game to start with. Incomplete. Flick couldn't bring it down at the 20. He was hit hard by Pat Terrell.
Barnes just rushed that just a little bit. Ball got away from him up a little bit high.
Now Stoyanovich.
There's no kicking duel in Kansas City.
Oh, no.
There's no kicking duel in Green Bay anymore either.
I think you're right about that one. Sports Center, of course, following our broadcast. We've got 8:41 to go in overtime. Looking at almost a 50-yard field goal from here if they have to do that.
Pat Terrell's coming from the top of the screen again.
This time he's picked up on the blitz. The pass underneath complete and caught at the 25-yard line. Reggie Jones makes another grab. He was on IR all of last year with a thigh injury.
Pat Barnes has done a nice job of playing quarterback. Not just throwing the ball where he wants to or has to, but he's moved him around a couple times, got the offensive sets right to pick up blitzes and make some decisions with the football that have been very, very positive.
3rd and 3. They want to throw for it, and too high. Wide open that time was Kevin Huntley.
I was going to say, you know, that Pat Barnes struggled at the beginning, Joe, and kind of settled into the position, and that's one of the things they look at the young quarterback. How well can he settle in and absorb the adversity that he already had? Then he comes back and throws this pass kind of high and away.
Stoyanovich from 42 after Brett Conway had missed a chance to win it from much shorter range. Hooking wide. It is a battle of attrition. Wide left.
Yeah. Thank heavens other guys will do it too.
Okay, who has the ball now?
Green Bay.
Third turn.
7:53 to go in overtime. Slater again. He just made one big catch after another. And that was a pretty good throw from Klingler.
Wait a second. I hear that motorcycle sort of moving away from Glenn Milburn.
Boy, but this is a perfect pass, Joe.
It really is. See, Robert Williams never gets a hand on him at the line of scrimmage, and in doing so, he can't really stop him going down the field. Now there's little incidental contact. Nice throw by David Klingler. One thing David Klingler can do, and that is throw the football.
1st and 10 at the 30. Schrader with a big night. The back to the ground game with Michael Blair. He'll get about 5.
Who do you think is kicking the next field goal?
I think it's Brett Conway again.
Longwell
Unless
is warming up.
They've decided to go alternate. That's the way the Packers have done it then.
I think they're looking for volunteers right now.
They're just alternating them back and forth with every kick.
Blair again. Big hole. Blair 15, 13-yard line. 1st down, Green Bay. Let's see if Mike Holmgren sends the field goal unit on right away.
Well, the way they're eating up yardage, he doesn't need to. But you've got some tired people out there, and this is when fumbles occur, mistakes are made, holding penalties.
Field goals are missed.
Field goals are missed.
Longwell has the helmet on. It's another 1st down for Green Bay. Blair will get another carry. Just inside the 10.
Michael Blair, in his own way, has been very quietly impressive, I think, for the Green Bay Packers in this game.
He's a big kid, 245.
He's run very well from the fullback position. But Emery Smith did a nice job of blocking all night. Of course, William Henderson is the incumbent at fullback.
Yeah, we know what he
Packers.
gives you.
Yeah.
A lot.
You know what you got there.
2nd down, just inside the 10. Blair again covering up that football. He picks up a couple.
There you go. You kick on 3rd down because if there is a mistake, you'll have 4th down in order to rectify it.
And it's Longwell.
I tell you what, Ryan, you miss this one. Just go right out through that tunnel. Don't head for the plane.
Real sportsmanship for Conway, standing over there applauding and rooting for Longwell. I tell you what, that takes a lot of guts to do something like that. You're waving goodbye to your job at the same time. We're almost 10 minutes into overtime. aren't you? Boy, you did. I thought he missed it, too. Ryan Longwell wins it in overtime.